Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I had to move the camera because the camera was on the other side. I'm still like I did a whole arrangement and a move while just to kind of move things around. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Oh my goodness. Hello again. Hello again. Welcome. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button, please, and thank you. Welcome, welcome. I suspect and I expect that it's gonna be, I don't know if it's gonna be a lot of people tonight, which is absolutely fine. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Hey everybody. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my God, Wim, where have you been? Oh my goodness, Wim. Olson's in the chat. Yes. Welcome everybody. So I had a couple of people come into my comments and it really hurt my feelings. They did. Especially when we were giving commentary about Elon and Trump and the Epstein files. And, they just like my heart hurts right now, y'all. It hurts. It's still hurting a little bit. It's like in pain, my heart. I'm doing my best. Somebody came in my comments and said, why are you talking about this? This is political. And my heart was like when they said that, I was like, oh no, it's not. Really? Oh my God. It is? Oh, really? Wait a minute. Did you think that just because it's got to do with some of these political leaders in this world that somehow they're excused from any type of criticism? Oh, I get it. Some of you guys were okay with me doing lives about Diddy every day, every day. Well, and we are for the most part, as far as, when the trial's happening, any other court dates and things that are relevant, right? It is okay to go live about Diddy all the time, all day. But when it comes to criticizing somebody who you feel like, oh, this is too political for me. Oh, I can't. Like, I'm allergic to this. I can't. I'm allergic. I'm literally itching. You may believe that I don't know anything that I'm talking about. You're entitled to your opinion. Hell, I think we all have. I have one. You have one. We all have. But listen, that's okay. I'm still going to talk about it. I'm still going to talk about it. This is one of the biggest, of course, we are a true crime channel. This would be the equivalent of one of the biggest true crime cases as far as Jeffrey Epstein, right? Like, that is huge. And all of these political parties, whether you voted for one or the other, whatever, that's the problem, is that our minds are only made up by two parties. It's this side or it's that side. And if you talk bad about this side, they're going to come over here and get you. If you talk about bad about that side, they're going to come over here and get you. I don't give a shit. I'm going to talk about it all. I am. Whether it's the side that I voted for or it's the side that you voted for, right? Because none of these people should be above criticism. Jeffrey Epstein and his crimes, Maxwell and all these people and those and everybody are not above criticism. Just because they hold a political office or they're chummy or they sing very nice to you or somehow you resonate with them. Nobody's above it. Hell, I'm criticized all the time. Right? Isn't that the foundation of our country? Like freedom of speech? Who's defaming who? We're talking about something that's very active. Jeffrey Epstein was and is because a lot of us were waiting, myself included. We were waiting for this list to be released with all of these high-powered people that, mind you, a lot of these folks were letting us know, right? Oh, the crimes, guys, you don't. We got to be careful because the things that we have seen in these files, it's just like so horrible. You don't, I mean, I love that, as much as I'm not a supporter of parties, but I love it when the own party is calling the bullshit out. It's all over Twitter. It's all over Twitter.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. But it was sitting on her desk. It was sitting on her desk and it was sitting on her desk, right? We have been strung along. Then you had this little PR situation here. This guy, complete embarrassment. I don't even know how the hell you still, like, I don't get it. But you had all these people that went to the White House with their little binders of absolutely nothing, of regurgitated information that was provided 5 years ago. Like, that is disgusting to know that you were a PR guy for nothing. For nothing. Hey, but you know what? Do your thing. We don't keep the same energy. That's the problem that we have here. And this is why I have to side-eye a lot of people. We don't keep the same energy when it comes. Like if we're going to talk about Diddy, I'm going to have 1,000 people here in the chat right away, right? But if we talk about Epstein or somebody else, no, I don't want to talk about that. We're not going to go there. We don't keep the same energy. We don't. But when it's Diddy, it's okay. When it's Diddy, it's okay. We could talk about baby oil all day, right? But we just don't keep the same energy. But anyways, before I even get into a tangent, because I got other stuff within the scope of this conversation that we're going to have to review, I want us to talk about tomorrow's hearing a little bit. Now, Inner City Press, I did miss this part this morning. He gives us a little bit of an update. This was 10 hours ago. Listen to what he has to say.
Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse today, Monday, July 7th, 2025. Now, for those who've been following the U.S. versus Sean Combs trial, it ended, as we all know, last Wednesday with 2 guilty and 3 not guilty verdicts. Bail was denied, and there's a hearing tomorrow, Tuesday, on expedited sentencing. I'm assuming that his lawyers will be asking for time served whenever that does happen. We'll just have to see. There's also the question of relevant conduct, which is the things not convicted of, but presented at trial. Now, speaking of that, if not, the sentencing will be October 3rd. But it could get moved up. I think it probably will be moved up. That's basically the judge said, I'm not going to let you out on bail, but I will speed up your sentencing if you want, if the probation department can produce a pretrial services report in time, which they probably can.
Yep.
It's a high-profile defendant. Now, speaking of relevant conduct, one of the escorts mentioned at the trial is Clayton Howard. He was mentioned repeatedly. You can look over Inner City Press's threads or the 8 books that we put out, booklets, during the trial, one for each week, and you'll find Dave, as he was referred to many times. Well, Dave has filed a lawsuit that's quite contrary to how he was described. Now we understand why he wasn't one of the escorts tried. Who knows? There's many civil lawsuits out there. We're following them. And we'll see. We'll present them.
We'll see.
People will have their different views of what's up with them. But there's that one is in California, but it's in federal courts. We can cover it pretty easily. Speaking of which, we just covered a Massachusetts.
So I'm going to stop right here. So tomorrow there's a hearing. I believe it's going to be Zoomed. If it's live stream, or I definitely it's not going to be live stream, but we might go live around that time just so we can do all relevant reviews. But shout out to us. Wim has been a member for 31 months. Not very active, but following. Wim, thank you so much for supporting. And look, you just gifted 10 memberships. If you guys have been blessed by Wim, put some hearts in the chat. Wim is a regular schmegular in the chat, always gifting, always supporting. He just wasn't a fan of the Diddy trial, which happens. We cover cases, and some people, I know a lot of people kind of left for a little bit, and they came back to it. They were like, I don't really want to talk about Diddy, but I'm still here, Rabbit. Diddy wasn't my thing. And you know what? I respect that. I respect people's mental health and decisions before they, sign on to cover something, because some of the stuff is just not for everybody. So anyways, let's get back to this, okay? Now, this is like my favorite clip. Now, I'm not a fan of Piers Morgan. I'm not I always say I'm not a fan of somebody. You know, I think for me, it's just I'm like, I never really know where Pierce is going to land. And, you know, he's just as messy as a lot of people out there, and he's gotten in trouble, and he's very controversial in various aspects. But I can appreciate him wanting to talk about very difficult topics. I'm here for it. So, Pierce, what happened? Let me play this, okay? Let me play this. This was, I want to say, was it many months ago? And this is a clip that I think the administration wants us to forget.
But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process.
But there's no list. But there's no list. There was no blackmailing. There was no list. There was no blackmailing. And the man committed S. This was, I believe, in February when she spoke. So what happened here?
Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability. We have seen for so many years, Pierce, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway. We don't take it home. And I really believe that now with Cash and Pam, there will be accountability.
But, you know, Cash and Pam, there was no files. Nothing was on my desk. There's no list. There's nothing. What had happened? There's nothing. What happened? There's no crime? I mean, what are we saying with this? Are we saying that there was never any crime? Are we saying, well, what exactly? Is this a cop-out? Hell, shout out to Nate the lawyer. Trump is on the client list, he says. That's why it's not coming out. I truly believe that as well. Prove me wrong. They can't, Nate, because they won't show the list. If you believe there is no list, then you're an idiot. I believe there's no list. There has to be exclusive. DOJ, FBI concludes Epstein had no client list, died by unaliving himself. And we read this article today, okay? And we actually went through the whole presser, right? Which basically reiterates, well, you know, there's some information there, but you know, we're not going to release child porn. Nobody in this country is asking for people to release child porn, okay? But we were told that there was a list. There was many things that were not released initially, including more names, flight logs. People were going to be held responsible. People were going to be held accountable. I'm literally wondering why people come into the comments and say, you don't know what you're talking about. This, you know, this is this. No, guys, this is something that we've all been waiting for. Political or not, this is something that we've all been waiting for. So then here we are. There's nothing, guys. And who do we hold accountable to any of this? Who can we? This administration advertised that there would be transparency. Where is it? Have we been gaslit? Did they use the Epstein situation to basically say, vote for me because we're about to release all this? Why can't any of these people be called out? But you're okay calling out Diddy. Oh, because we need to know about that baby oil. Keep the same energy for the people on both the perpetrator, pedo side, and those that willfully look away from that situation. Keep that same energy. Because we're never going to go anywhere at all if we don't. I don't give a shit if you're whatever it may be that's going out there in the world that's working out for you because you voted for this motherfucker. I don't care whether it's this one or Biden. I don't like both of them. During the election, I've said it before, it felt like it was a pick your poison type of situation. I didn't like any of these guys, and I still don't. I don't like any of these political people. I don't. They lie. They lie. And sometimes they lie right in front of our faces, and then we are willfully looking away from it. Because gas prices are lowered, right? Okay. Let's watch this.
This lead and Elon Musk's favorite story. A new Justice Department memo reveals that the Justice Department has no evidence that convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful people or kept a client list or was murdered in prison. The memo, first reported by Axios, is a sharp turn from the Trump administration's insistence that there was much more to uncover. Even Attorney General Pam Bondi pushed that theory while in office.
Yes, she did.
The DOJ may
and let me say this, Pamela, thank you for correcting me. You are absolutely correct. One of the things, let's see if we can pull it again. One of the things, this is straight out of hold up, let me see if I can pull it. This is straight out of see my download history, because I've downloaded so many things. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it. I think it was let's see. See, I have to download it again. Let's go to it, okay? Real quick before I play this video, because I don't want to mince words when it comes to this, okay? I really don't. I think it's important not to mince words when it comes to a situation like this. Recent. How come I can't see it? Anyways, here it is. This right here. Let's be very clear. Lady Pamela, you're on the money on this one. Okay. And thank you for correcting me. You know I love you and I love that you correct me. Anybody, for my regular schmegulars, they know that they can correct me when I'm wrong or anything like that. So don't feel like you even have to apologize for it, because I get shit wrong all the time. Okay. Okay. Let me tell you guys something. There was a paragraph here that said, excuse me, something to the effect of, the files relating to Epstein included a large volume of images of Epstein, images and videos of victims who are minors or appear to be minors, or over 10,000 downloaded videos and images of illegal child abuse material. That's what it is. Child abuse material, like Lady Pam said right here. I'm using her words. It's not child porn. It's abuse material. Absolutely. Okay. We can't mince words with that. I completely get it. So thank you so much for correcting me on that. But we're not asking for any of that to be released. If you're saying in the first paragraph, as part of our commitment to transparency, already you lost it right there. Because let me tell you something, as far as whether it's this administration or the other one, some of this stuff should have been addressed in the Biden administration too. This is why I don't give flowers to either organization, because I have a feeling that the reason, and we kind of already knew that Trump would have been somehow involved in some of this stuff because his name was on the flight logs. Like, we knew that. So I don't understand what the issue is. So if it's Trump or it's somebody, friends of Trump or whoever the hell it may be, why can't we know this information? And I mean, it's one thing to release it, but are any of these people ever going to be held accountable? And now we're being told, nope, sorry, guys. The lady, Pam was sitting there saying, oh, guys, it's on my desk. It's on my desk. It's I haven't reviewed it yet, but I've heard that it's pretty bad. We sat there waiting and waiting. Initially, they gave us a little red herring. What do? They send a bunch of social media influencers. Look how they're doing it. It's not your CNN news correspondents anymore. It's not your New York Times anymore. It's social media influencers, because that tells you how they are gearing a lot of the influencers, here, myself included, to make sure that we are giving the information without all the quote unquote red tape, when they still have red tape on that information, right? They gave all these influencers repeated information from 5 years ago. I'm telling you, the day that stuff got released, I ran to my computer. I was talking to people. I said, send me what you got. Let me see what I got. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, this shit looks repeated. This looks repeated. It looks repeated. And if I was the influencers going to the White House, you're giving me a binder of repeated information, I would be pissed. I don't care if you're a MAGA influencer. I would be pissed. Because guess what? They said, well, we could trick this idiot to taking this binder and saying what they had to say. Nothing new happened. I would be pissed. A lot of you guys should be pissed. So then here they are. That was February. They string us all along. Where are we at? July. Guess what, guys? There's no list. And guess what, guys? He really did commit S to himself. He unalived himself. Which, by the way, did you guys notice that there's a minute? That video is missing a minute. Did anybody know that? Shout out to CoffeeZilla who noted that. That video is missing a minute. We got absolutely nothing. So again, come at me again for those that say, well, Rabbit, you don't know what you're talking about. Because you're sure as hell here when we're talking about Diddy and you have no problems with it. So as long as we're talking about a perpetrator or a quote unquote whoever you want me to talk about, it's okay. It's okay if it's Diddy. But when it comes to the people that are around Epstein or those that Epstein's were really good friends with, you have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. I cater to no one and I don't work for you. Anyways, shout out to everybody in the chat. So I want to go right to, it says, the systematic review revealed no incriminating client lists. It was all in our heads, guys. It was all in our heads. There was nothing incriminating. When Pat Bondi or the other folks sat there talking about this list, guys, it's going to shake shit up. It's gonna shake the world up. That's the definition of gaslighting. Y'all know that, right? That we've been gaslit. There was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. Didn't he have that one photo with Bill Clinton up there in a dress, in a Monica Lewinsky dress? It's been said. What about those people that visited back and forth? What about the people in between? Virginia Giuffre, who died just recently this year. Her death was in, her family went in that house. And by the way, she had conflict with a lot of her family members. I don't find that to be a coincidence. That now she's gone, because I bet you that she would have been the most loudest person to speak out about this piece of news. What about the other victims that came after or during the time that she was around? Nothing? How is it? By the way, let's keep going because there's another part that I just found to be just so weird. This systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. There was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed these individuals. Consistent with prior disclosures, the review confirmed Epstein harmed. Look how many people Epstein. This reviewed confirmed that Epstein harmed over 1,000 victims. Each suffered unique trauma. My friends, this right here should be bolded. 1,000 victims. We just got done with the Diddy trial, right? And in the Diddy trial, regardless of whether you felt that the jury got it wrong or right, what did the prosecution do? They tried to lay out a foundation of what they seem to at least have interpreted as RICO. Okay. They named co-conspirators. And the victims that were harmed that we know of were Cassie Ventura, Jane Doe, and some other employees, right? I would probably say, at least based on the government document, 5, right? That we know of, or less. This man right here has harmed over 1,000 victims. I'm assuming that the government is saying they have at least 1,000 depositions, testimonies, statements, some kind of evidence to even put this number out here. But you mean to tell me that you can't bring anybody into court that was around Epstein while these 1,000 people were harmed? Does that make any sense to you? You know, at least at the Diddy trial, we heard names like Christina Cora. We heard D-Rock, KK, you know, all these names. Not one name that would have helped this person. And you could say, oh, it was Maxwell. I don't believe it was just Maxwell. And even though y'all know it, I'm not a fan of Eladio. I'm not. But he's kind of got a point. So out of this whole thing, there's a woman that sits behind bars for this whole thing. Does any of this make sense? 1,000 victims, and we have, like, what do we have to show for it? Does that make sense? At least if we're going to talk, we could talk about the R. Kelly trial too. You saw their Nexium, right? These RICO level cases. Epstein wasn't RICO, quote unquote, but you're talking about somebody who was a notorious offender of children, specifically targeting them. And everything, including his probation, was very much geared for his comfort, right? Huh? And there's 1,000 victims. That is such a huge number. This makes no sense that nobody, I don't even hear a hotel chain, a taxi cab, a bank even being named in this. Nobody. Now, Kash Patel, you were a social media influencer. Now you're like the director of all this. You really gonna sit on this and not say shit? And then go on media and say, oh, there was nothing else in here. This is bullshit. I'm not buying it. Return it back. I rebuke it all because I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. It's BS. It further goes. Each suffered unique trauma. Sensitive information related to these victims is intertwined throughout the material. This includes specific dates, such as victim. You redact the name. You redact the names, DOBs, likeness, physical descriptions, places of birth, all of that. Associations, employment, redacted. Redacted. They said one of our highest priorities is combating child exploitation and bringing justice to victims. Okay. So name the perpetrators that helped Epstein do the shit that he was doing. Name them. Put a name on them. Put them on the stand. Hold them accountable. Put a name on them. Why are they allowed to be hidden? Is it because, who is it exactly? One of our highest priorities is combating the exploitation, yada, yada, which is bullshit because I think it's bullshit. That's how it is. Perpetrating unfounded theories. Look at this. Perpetrating unfounded theories about Epstein serves neither one of those ends. Well, isn't that interesting? Wasn't there a lot of theories that brought the situation moving forward? People have had theories about JFK files, this situation, other files. So who determines what's unfounded? Who determines what's unfounded? Ask the 1,000 victims. Who determined what was unfounded? Ask the 1,000 victims that this man harmed it by their numbers, okay? Who determines what's unfounded? You? Kash Patel? Trump? Who? Pam? Who? Pam? Like, I have a lot of questions. Who? To that end, while we have labored to provide the public with maximum information, which is not true, regarding Epstein and ensure examination of any evidence in the government's possession, it is the determination of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau that no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. That's it. That's all. Go home, everybody. We're done. That's what it is, right? This is insane, guys. This is like, I don't know why we are not talking about this in a more larger scale. Why is it? What are we worried about? Like I said, everybody's here for everything else but this. So you're going to leave people to speculate, which we've all done, right? We've all speculated what could or couldn't be and everything. I get it. But it's the speculation. Divine Geek, sir, thank you so much for the 199. I'm new here. Love your intro song, blaring it loud. Thank you so much, my love. Shout out to you. Preparing for ya. Thank you so much for the 999. Thanks thank you for talking about this. No, thank you guys for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm just really trying to understand. Was there a crime? Like no, thank you, Sandra. Was there a crime? The lady's sitting in jail for how many years? Even like I said, Elon pointed this out. And you guys know I don't subscribe to that guy, but he makes a good point. So why is she sitting behind bars? This is a great question. I don't know. I think a lot of this, if it was a settlement, it would have been undisclosed. Right. The government determines everything. Thank you. Then a federal prosecutor, then a bunch of government positions with Trump. Did he hold why am I getting him mixed up with somebody else? Beautiful Messy Ball, thank you so much. Cash Patel wasn't a social media influencer. He was a public defender in Florida, then a federal prosecutor, then a bunch of other government positions. Why am I thinking that he anyways, so thank you so much for correcting me. Government position with Trump, first administration before the FBI director. I'm not a fan. See, beautiful Messy Ball. Oh, with all that said, he's failing us right now. He's signing the Kool-Aid, right? But there was somebody that was a social media, I forget who it was. And I thought it was Cash, but clearly I'm wrong. So thank you for correcting me. Something is just very off about this in general. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. At all. And I'm glad that we're asking questions. So anyways, let me get to this. And then, because I got to get a drink. So this is CNN. And, I don't subscribe to CNN's agenda because I feel like all these bigger news outlets have one. But for the sake of this piece, I'm kind of wondering what they have to say.
Maybe releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
But today, the White House says she didn't really mean to suggest that the list itself was on her desk.
She didn't mean it. It was, sorry.
She was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that.
Joining us now to discuss CNN's Evan Pettis and Axios's Alex Eisenstadt, who broke the story.
Does it exist? It doesn't exist, guys. It wasn't real. It wasn't real.
On Axios and Alex, I have to say, I'm with the people that still have questions about this. I kind of don't buy the nothing to see here. And I don't know that the Justice Department helped their case. They released this video that showed it. It shows no one entered the area surrounding Epstein's cell in the hours before he died. But there's something significant about this videotape. What is it?
Well, here's one thing that some people on the internet are picking up on, which is that
it's missing.
There is about a minute missing between 11:58 p.m., 58 seconds, and 12 a.m., the night that Epstein was apparently killed or died. And so
the official story is that he died by suicide. That's what then Trump Attorney General Bill Barr said a few years ago.
Died. And so now there are, it's going to intensify more conspiracy theories about what happened the night of Epstein's death. And of course, you have the DOJ and FBI now, which are trying to extinguish a lot of these conspiracy theories. But that's not happened today online. If you look at the MAGAverse, they're inflamed about this.
Well, I mean,
as they should be. I've never seen, you guys know Twitter is full of them. Like everybody, hustle bitch, who is a huge YouTube channel. Well, this is awkward. JD Vance, I can't wait to clean up DC by releasing the Epstein client list. November 6, 2024. Very awkward. Very awkward. It is I'm so glad, beautiful Miss. I'm glad you're saying this. This is a huge cluster. And how do you go 1 minute missing out of a video and you think the internet's not going to notice? Are you kidding me? The internet is watching everybody. You ever read The Great Gatsby? You know that reference? If you've put a 1 in the chat if you've ever read The Great Gatsby. There's the book, but then there's the movie, right? There's Robert Redford and Leonardo DiCaprio, and there's some other movies in between. There's a reference. This is how I see the internet. Like in my mind, I'm like, I feel like I've consolidated this, right? In The Great Gatsby, there's that eye, the all-seeing eye, which was like the doctor's office ad. That's how I see the internet. The eye is the all-seeing. It's one of my favorite books. I love The Great Gatsby, actually. One of the books that I actually could read because I was a slow reader as I was in school. But anyways, this is one of my favorite books. It really was. Hey, Life Lessons and Lions. Thank you for the $1.99, my love. Shout out to you. Yeah, the high school, it was the high school book that we all had to read. So that's how I see the internet. And it's a great comparison, right? And Myrtle's husband looks at the eye and says, God sees everything. Now, I'm not saying the internet is God because I don't think it is, but the internet is all seeing, right? So if you're missing a minute from a video or a clip, oh, yes, that one, Tracy. Thank you. You know that the internet's going to catch that. It's the all seeing eye of everything. Almost like the Illuminati eye, right? That is literally the comparison. Okay. All seeing and all knowing. Yes, Miss Toby. Yes. I love it. I love that you guys are with me here because that was the best way I could describe this. So CoffeeZilla posted it on Twitter. Why is 1 minute missing from the Epstein security camera footage? 11:58:59 p.m. 11:59:59 p.m. 1 minute missing. Was that a situation? Now, mind you, they said that they had this footage and they had to clean it up. And they're bringing up some of the of course, the little AI stuff on Twitter. Yes, the footage is old, recorded on August 9th, the 10th, 2019, during Epstein's time in jail. However, the FBI just released it today to confirm the though it has gaps, it doesn't show inside his cell. Lord have mercy. Now, why did you guys put Hillary in here? I can't with the internet. That's the internet for you. It's the all-seeing eye. And we noticed it. How could you not? Anybody would have picked this up. But anyways.
No offense to Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, but they had a hand in igniting some of these conflagrations. I mean, in February, the White House invited these conservative MAGA influencers to get a first look at the declassified documents related to the Epstein case. Look at that, all those binders. They gave them binders that said Epstein Files Phase 1. And Evan, at the time, you wrote that this is something of a self-own for the Justice Department. Why?
It had to
wait. If that's Phase 1, there's no Phase 2? Like, what happened? Phase 1. There's no Phase 2? I guess there's no, that was Phase 1. There's no Phase 2. So I can't, man. I cannot. What is going on there? So that's Phase 1. There's no Phase 2? The internet is the internet has turned into the Illuminati. You said Phase 2 is vacation. It's on vacation. That's what it is. Oh my God. This is like, anyways, let me hit play.
Absolutely was. Those binders, those documents in those binders, all of that was public for years. And that's what the influencers found out. When they opened it up, they're like, wait a minute, all this stuff has been out there.
Thank you.
And the Justice Department could have helped themselves and perhaps.
By the way, I didn't have to go to the White House to realize that. I figured it out while I was sitting here on my desk watching baby. I was like, hey, why do I feel like this is old? They tricked me.
reduce the embarrassment if they had just picked up the phone and talked to some of the prosecutors in New York and some of the FBI agents who had done this case, and they could have told them all of this stuff has been out there. But you know why they didn't do that is because they fired all these people, so they didn't have anybody to talk to, right?
There you go.
And so you know, this is something that they have absolutely fanned, and so now they own this, and that is part of the problem here. And they've been struggling with what to do about this, Jake, for some time, because agents spent overnight shifts redacting these documents, and then what they ended up with were pages that were filled with blackout.
Yeah.
They cannot release it because it would re-victimize some of the victims. Under federal law, there's Privacy Act. So that's what they were facing. They were realizing that they were going to release a bunch of black pages that would have only fanned the conspiracy.
And Alex, a lot of people in the MAGA world are very upset, very disappointed with Attorney General Bondi, very upset with the director and deputy director of the FBI, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino.
Well, let me ask you guys, is it really her fault? Let me know what you guys think. I mean, is it really, really her fault? Now, tell me why I'm thinking one of these guys is a social media influencer. I can't remember who it was. Beautiful Messy Ball. I know one of them is a social media influencer. Put in the chat. I can't remember who it was exactly that was put into office. Anyways.
Mike Lindell of MyPillow fame posted on X, as trusted voices like Bongino, Kash, and Bondi align with the official story, many are asking who's still willing to demand real answers. Laura Loomer, who I only cite because apparently she has influence with President Trump.
Gets people fired.
She got National Security Council people fired. She posted, if Attorney General Bondi doesn't get fired over this Epstein memo, people are going to be so black-pilled. They were obviously hoping for a different outcome. And I have to say, Alex, I find it hard to believe that we still don't know.
Wait, why would she get fired? I mean, guys, like, do you honestly think she didn't want to put the, like, I'm wondering if it's because, like I said, and I agree with Nate the lawyer, shout out to Nate the lawyer, I agree, maybe it's because the very same people that are on that list are in office right now. You know, some of these political people, they're holding high spaces in office. Yeah. I got to tell you guys something. I got me a little ice thingy, a different one, and it makes little ice. You guys can't see it, but I love it. It's like slushy coffee. I love it. Anyways.
So much about this case.
Yeah, and I don't think the conspiracy theories are ever going to stop. But big picture, this is sort of what happens when you have the MAGA influencerization of the DOJ and the FBI, right? You put Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, who before going into the FBI were MAGA influencers.
About this stuff.
Yes,
yeah.
So
it
now
was.
They come in and their high expectations, they were going to deliver.
Yes, he was a MAGA influencer, that guy. Bongino, thank you. Somebody put it in the chat. That's why I was like, I feel like it was Kash Patel, but it wasn't. You're right. Somebody said that it was Dan Bongino. Thank you. It was you, Tracy, who put it in there. Dan Bongino had a YT channel. He also did commentary on Fox. So he became kind of like this. And, you know, Fox is very away. Fox is away. Okay. Fox is away. Dan Bongino was a YT channel and then he became a commentator on Fox. That's what I was thinking about. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me hit play on this.
They came up empty-handed. And so there's a lot of anger about that. And the MAGA universe is not happy today.
Well, after months of teasing the release of new information about the accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein and his alleged client list, the Justice Department, well, they're now saying that no evidence or such a list actually existed, or that Epstein was murdered. The DOJ saying it does not plan to release any new documents on the matter, and writing today in a memo, quote, there was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged parties. Joining me now.
Gotcha. So I remember he was a member of the Secret Service. You're right. But he was a social media commentator at some point. You're right. Thank you. Appreciate it. None of them believe he could possibly be involved, and they're actually shocked. There you go. For how many years? Telling you guys, like, this is so crazy.
CNN senior justice correspondent Evan Perez and CNN legal analyst Elliot Williams. Evan, you've reported on this for, I think, years on some level now. Right. Tell us how this memo kind of came to be, how this case became such a fixation.
Well, the case became a fixation in part because the Attorney General and other people around President Trump have fanned the flames of this conspiracy, that there was some bombshell hidden in these Epstein documents. And everyone has known, certainly a lot of the documents that the Justice Department has been looking at, they've been out in public already for years, because you remember some of his co-defendants went on trial. after his 2019 suicide. So this is no surprise to anyone who's been paying attention, but for people inside the Justice Department who certainly encourage this kind of belief out there, they're now having to admit that there's really no there. And you see in the memo, it says the systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. There's also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions, or that he was murdered. Again, all of these things were known. It's just that there was a certain part of the internet, and certainly on Twitter, a lot of MAGA believers who believe that there was something here that was being hidden.
Yeah, and look, the White House, I think on some level, was active participants at some elements of those corners of the internet. What did the White House say about this case earlier today?
Well, today they had to react to the fact that just a couple of months ago, the Attorney General on Fox News seemed to indicate that there was a client list sitting on her desk. And now what they're saying what she's referring to is just that she was looking at the larger number of documents that were out there. And again, they held an event at the White House where they brought in all the MAGA influencers to look at these binders, which ended up being documents that had been on the internet and had been available publicly for years.
Elliot, before I ask you a question, I want to play that sound that Evan was just talking about. Take a listen.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Elliot, you used to work for the Justice Department, and Attorney General saying that, and then a memo like this coming into the public sphere. What does it tell you about what happened here?
It's embarrassing what happened here, Phil. Look, the Attorney General, this is to Evan's point a moment ago, sort of fanned the flames of these truly bonkers, I won't say the full word, conspiracy theories that have been allowed to infiltrate not just American life, but also the government at the highest levels. There are basic facts here that we ought to accept. Number one, Jeffrey Epstein did really bad things to many people. And number two, Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in prison before he could face trial. Those are facts. That is truth. Any suggestion to the contrary is simply not held by serious people. And
Okay. Hey, listen, I haven't seen an autopsy report. Maybe it might be out there. Is there a Epstein autopsy report out there already? How did he kill himself? How now I consider myself to be a serious person when I need to be, of course. But I don't believe that this man did it to himself. I don't. I don't. And how did he do it to himself? Is there an autopsy? Has that been released? There was? Okay. You said nope. Yes. Well, some of you guys say no. Okay. Yep. Good luck, girl. He said good luck. There hasn't been? Has there been a report on Epstein that has been released yet? Why are we missing a minute from this video? I don't think so. So, I mean, I consider myself to be serious, but I don't know. Because wouldn't that be that's a great question. Was it cremated? Let's see. Jeffrey Epstein. I feel like maybe I have looked at this before, and I haven't really had the time. He said so his cause of death was hanging. Okay, this is what's being reported by Google. Okay, position found: suspended from the top bunk in a near seated position with buttocks slightly off the floor. Injuries consistent with hanging. The medical examiner reported that Epstein's injuries were consistent with S by hanging, and that there was no evidence of defensive wounds, no evidence of a struggle. By the way, YouTube, this is educational content for educational purposes. We're providing educational commentary. This is educational commentary. Okay, content. No evidence of struggle. Epstein did not have marks. He didn't have marks on his hands, broken fingernails, or any signs of a struggle. Toxicology blood tests did not reveal any medications or illegal substance in the system. So he fractured a bone and thyroid cartilage. A private pathologist hired by Epstein's brother argued that the fractures to Epstein's bone and thyroid cartilage were more indicative of a homicidal strangulation than the S word. However, the chief medical examiner, Barbara Sampson, stood by the original findings, stating that such fracture can occur in hanging, especially in older individuals. So look at this. Autopsy photos revealed Mark Epstein, Jeffrey's brother, revealed a photo during a media interview, which he claims suggests his brother was dead for at least 2 hours before being discovered, citing the way a mark was embedded into his neck. He also questioned the official report's description of Epstein's position based on a photo of his legs. Circumstances at the jail, mind you, he's in the same jail as Diddy and Luigi Mangione. There were known failures by the staff at MDC in New York, where Epstein was held, including not following required protocols for inmate checks and ensuring functioning security cameras. Oh, because didn't they tell us that the cameras weren't working? And then suddenly we have this footage with 1 minute missing. 1 minute missing. Okay. Which has fueled speculation surrounding his death. Oh, I mean, of course. Of course. The DOJ and FBI reaffirmed the findings. I don't need the DOJ. We need other people besides them. Here's the problem when you have multiple tests. You have a private person hired by Epstein's brother, okay? Mark Epstein hires a private forensic person to look into his body, right? They're giving a different ruling. Then you have the government that gives this ruling. Then you have the other government officials. So what ruling is going to trump what exactly? That's the question, right? You can't trust anybody. Honestly, you can't. Literally. Divine Geekster says, do you recall what transpired with BJ's recent video? It was abruptly removed from the platform while I was engrossed in listening to it. The video was about Cassie's lawsuit. I don't. Hit BJ up and thank you so much for the 1999. I don't know what happened. I'll have to check it out. Thank you though. I do not know what happened. Can you double check on the jail? I think the Epstein jail was closed now. Everyone goes to L. Diddy and Luigi's jail. Yes, I think it was the MCC jail. Hold up. I think it's called the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York. And this one is, oh yes, thank you. I'm trying to get my steps in. And this one is called the MDC, the Metropolitan Detention Center. But back then, I think it was called the MCC. So it might be I don't think it's a different jail. It might be maybe in a different area of the facility. I'm not really sure. I've never been. Yes. So there's the MCC and then the MDC, which is where Diddy and Luigi are at. Thank you. MCC. That's right. Thank you guys for correcting me. It's the so did they change the jail name? The facility name? Because back then, and I'll show you what Google tells me. Let me see. I should have shown you that, but I was look at this. Google, the all-knowing Google, which really should be the Great Gatsby book I. The FBI and DOJ reaffirmed S findings. The Department of DOJ and FBI conducted reviews of Epstein's death and reaffirmed that he died by DS. No evidence of foul play. How convenient. I mean, a lot of this should have been reviewed in the other administration, but it was reviewed in this administration. Okay. Despite the official findings of S by medical examiner and subsequent government reviews, conspiracy theories continue to circulate regarding the death. As they would when you have a situation like this, not like this, but like this. Why is there a minute missing from Epstein's security camera footage? That, my friends, is something that nobody can seem to answer. So when this guy right here talks about a logical person would know, no, a logical person, a well-rounded person is going to question the things that do not make sense. That's a lot of people here. That's how I see it. And again, this is one of the biggest true crime cases for all ends, because it's truly was supposed, if this man has 1,000 victims, there should be a lot of people that co-conspired the BS, right? Why aren't they also facing any consequences? You have one woman, Maxwell. You mean to tell me that she orchestrated everything? She didn't work by herself if she did this. If she did, clearly, because she's been found guilty, but she didn't work by herself. There's no way. There's no way. Let me hit play on this. I find this very hard to believe, guys.
The Attorney General herself, quite frankly, is responsible for allowing some of this nonsense to get out there. Now, thankfully, the Justice Department has put this memorandum out there, but this is just a bad look for the Justice Department. It's actually quite shameful.
Elliot, is it normal for DOJ to release a memo like this?
It really isn't, Phil, only because the memorandum is really pushing back against conspiracy theories. It's not, explaining why someone wasn't charged with a crime or explaining why someone was charged with a crime.
See, this is what gets to me, because it was this conspiracy theory that pushed this administration as well. Okay. We're going to find the truth. We're going to release all the files for Epstein. Isn't that what this administration told us? And a lot of that was based on conspiracy theories that, by the way, come on now, like somewhere in between, there has to be some truth to something. We have to agree on something. So now they're going to backpedal and be like, that was all conspiracy theories. This is bullshit. It's bullshit. Legacy media. Yes, it is. Right? But don't worry, eggs are cheaper. I heard. Are they? Avocados might be cheaper. Gas might be cheaper. I don't know, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Yeah, CNN, I agree with you on this one, love. I'm not a fan of CNN, just like I'm not a fan of TMZ, but I'd like to get into what they're kind of spewing to kind of understand what is it that they're putting out there, if that makes sense. I couldn't agree more. Just like the congressional disclosure hearings, that should be the biggest news story and of not just our lives, but human history, yet so many still don't see it. That's right. Or care to. That's right, Squids. Don't. It's a lot of craziness, but okay, keep going. Go off.
Explaining the facts of the case. It is merely put out there to debunk some of this nonsense that the Attorney General actually helped fan the flames up by handing these memos out, these binders out at the White House and so on. So no, it is not common at all. Certainly the Justice Department makes public statements all the time. They make public statements to our reporters like Evan Perez, and that's fine. But pushing back on conspiracy theories is not a core competency of any member of the Justice Department. And quite frankly, it should not be.
Evan, real quick before I let you go, any repercussions for the Attorney General on this?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can see people on the right, including Lara Loomer, she's calling for the Attorney General to be fired. This is not over, because the fact that these documents are not out means that these conspiracies will live on.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I want to go to my least favorite publication, which is TMZ, and you guys know that. But TMZ did get an interview with Epstein's lawyer. And then I want to point something out that shout out to Ticket TV, because I didn't even know this if it wasn't for Ticket TV. And he did a really quick video and like really, really quick research on this. And I really appreciate it. It led me to an article. So shout out to Ticket TV. But Jeffrey Epstein's lawyers, shame on famous pals who bailed over client lists. So what Jeffrey Epstein's lawyers are saying, who I'm assuming are pretty good friends with, well, he was close to Jeffrey Epstein and family. Okay. Should have been better friends. That's what he says. Proponents of theories building for months over which rich and famous pals might appear on Jeffrey Epstein's alleged client list. Oh my God, why am I moving this quickly? Hold up. Sorry. Were met with an underwhelming Fed announcement. And now a lawyer for the convicted offender is shaming the financier's friends, who he says initially ran for the hills. Here's the deal. The Department of Justice announced on Monday there's no evidence Epstein kept a client list or was murmur in his jail cell. A shocking revelation to some who naturally immediately called PS. myself included. And I'm very happy that a lot of the MAGA supporters and people on the, on that end are also calling this out, because I think that, regardless of where you land, whether you agree, I think that when you find some commonality, depending on where you're at the spectrum, when somebody with an opposing view and you can come together about the BS of this, I think it's amazing. Good. That's wonderful. And hopefully people could come together and really talk about the BS of what this is. Literally. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Y'all know I like getting along with people, and I like having common ground. We're not always going to agree on everything, but I like it when we can come together to call something out. Okay. Shout out to everybody. Here's the deal. All right. The Department of Justice announced Monday there's no evidence Epstein kept a client list or was murmur in his jail cell, a shocking revelation to some who naturally immediately called BS. David Schuen, I think that's his name, one of Epstein's lawyers, tells TMZ he never expected some super secret list to be found because it made no sense. David says, I think the right's fascination with this and disappointment with the DOJ's position is quite simply that they hope to find damning evidence about President Clinton and perhaps Bill Gates and other non-conservative figures, and hope to use the information to take them down. This is his lawyer. Of course, the defense attorney totally buys that Epstein had a Rolodex filled with powerful contacts, but that is a far cry from the idea that he regularly set up the rich and powerful with young girls. Wow. The attorney went one step further, blasting those same people who were friends with Epstein for years. That is, until he was charged with trafficking of minors. And the Hollywood DC linked conspiracy theories started spreading like wildfire. It's shameful, says David, that those same people who spent meaningful time with him on vacation, for example, all turned on him and tried to deny or minimize ties with him once he began to be portrayed as a monster. Who do I remember? Was it Kevin Spacey was one of them that went to the vacation? Definitely Prince Andrew, and there were some other ones. One thing's for sure, even with the feds closing the books on the client list component, the continued conspiracy theories are going to fill the binders. They're not doing a good job to shut them down. I mean, literally. And to be honest, I'm here. I was here for them. I wasn't just looking for President Clinton or Bill Gates. I mean, I want all the names. I don't care if it was a political figure or the janitor or whoever the hell was, depending on who it was. I'm here for it. If it was going to expose the things that a lot of us wanted things to be exposed for, I'm here for it. I was here for it. For all of them. Now, hold up. Let's see. Yeah, I would have redacted all the names of victims. They got evidence of Stephen Hawking. There you go, Stephen Hawking. Heidi Fleiss have a client notebook, or was that exposed in court? I think Heidi Fleiss was all over. She was like a Hollywood madam, right? I think she had her own little notebooks. I can see your messages, beautiful messy ball. There's a lot of pictures with Hillary, Obama's, all of them, no matter what side they land. But you know what that tells me is maybe there was a lot of people in there that doesn't matter. Like, people are only seeing this as a political thing, when really, can we get out of that and just realize the actual crime that 1,000 victims is, right? People are only seeing, well, it's former presidents. Okay. And how about we just put them all in there? All of them. Like, we're only seeing things one-sided. We want to know all of them. I don't care who it is. We want to know all of them. Period. That's it. Thank you. On both sides. They're both sick. Individuals in power. We see it all the time. Right? They're all sick. They're sick individuals on both sides. So what's wrong with seeing the whole list? I'm here for it. Okay. Now, the reason why I have to shout out Ticket TV, because he kind of gave me. Here's the deal about Elon Musk, guys. Okay. So Elon Musk has this bromance with Trump. You know, he was up there, invested money, and then something went wrong, and he's like, "I'm out. I'm not happy anymore. We're breaking up, dude." I mean, he's bringing his son up there. What was the one child's name? Hashtag 134 child ABC. That child went to the White House and had a little encounter with the president. You know, I'm like exaggerating. I don't think that's that child's name, but you know, he doesn't give his children real names. So, child X, that child, yeah. You know, he's out there, you know, bringing child X to the White House and bringing everybody. Little X, there you go. Little X, hashtag with the brackets ABC. Okay. Everything was fine. See, Elon told people, or at least alluded, that the reason why these lists weren't being revealed was because, you know, Mr. President might be on them or is on them. But you were okay drinking the Kool-Aid, knowing that he could be on a list, right? There's a lot of people who willfully like looked away from that. They're okay with it's okay, like we don't know, we're just waiting. And I think a lot of us knew that the president might be on a list or whatever. We kind of knew that. A lot of people, it's been speculated before. I mean, there are pictures out there of them hanging out with each other, you know, and doing what the rich people do. Shout out to the rich people, because they're hanging out, right? Like I'm sure that we know this. So when I saw this article, and it was Ticket TV who kind of threw this out here, and I just kind of wanted to read it. Okay. This article is 2 years old. Elon Musk subpoenaed over JP Morgan's role in Jeffrey Epstein's activities. Elon Musk. So for Elon to be outraged right now is bullshit. It's a big pile of caca. Mm-hmm. It's a big pile of caca. How dare you be outraged now? When you what? How dare you put this little meme about, you know, the clown? Let me, because this meme went viral. Okay, let's be very real. The meme is memeing viraling, and it's just going all over the place. See if I can find it. Okay, for those that missed it, there's this very interesting meme. Let's see, Eladio Musk. People are talking about deportation of Elon Musk. Here it is. It's this one right here, right? We've all seen it. We will release the Epstein files. They're putting clown makeup. We just need more time, more clown makeup. The Epstein list is on my desk, which is what that lady said. Look, there is no Epstein list. But sir, you knew what this was all about. You understood the assignment. You knew until it wasn't convenient for you, right? You knew. Literally the definition of bad actor. So I don't understand what you're outraged about, Mr. Elon. I don't know why I'm going to start the Americans First political party. Huh? Say what now? So this is 2 years old, all right? I don't like, this needs to be, and you know, shout out to my Latino, you know, a TV novela at this point, right? A soap opera. This is like, has become the equivalent of a reality TV show playing all up in our fronts. You know, Elon Musk is playing a part. All these people are playing parts. This is like a joke to everybody. There's no way that anything can be taken serious. It feels like a TV novela, honestly. When I saw this on Ticket TV, shout out to Ticket TV, Elon Musk subpoenaed over JP Morgan's role in Jeffrey Epstein's activity. The U.S. Virgin Island is suing the bank over trafficking by Epstein, saying he may have referred or attempted to refer Musk as a client. Oh, but guys, there's no list. The binders, they're not real. There's no list. Okay. This is 2 years old. Like the all-seeing eye did not do a good job of scrubbing the internet before we went live on this, because we're literally seeing everything here play out. Let's keep going. Okay. And make sure you guys are hitting the like button, because I'm telling you, this is going to get suppressed by the algorithm gods. Okay. The U.S. Virgin Islands, again, 2 years old, subpoena billionaire, the cars to rockets entrepreneur Elon Musk on Monday to obtain documents in its litigation into the role played by JP Morgan Chase Bank in the activity of the late S offender Jeffrey Epstein when he was a customer, according to a court filing. It's highlighted in purple. So, Eladio, I need you to sit down and don't hurt yourself when you sit down. Sit all the way down. Okay, very carefully. Because you can't, like, I don't understand how people miss this. Y'all see that? Oh my God. Unalive Monroe, thank you so much for the $5. The cable channel for kids, Nickelodeon, has a splat symbol in the corner, is in the shape of Epstein Island. To this day, you can compare it identical. I saw that actually. That is so interesting when somebody discovered that. This was, I want to say, a couple years ago. Thank you so much for the $5, love. Shout out to you. In the words of your dad, El Elon, you know. Oh my God. Yeah, my dad would be Levy. I tell you, man, I'm gonna get my dad on a video one day. He doesn't like that, so I try not to like set him up or anything like that. But he's gonna get me. Oh my God, ¿ya viste lo que pasó con el Elon y con el Diddy? El Elon y el Diddy, lo que está pasando en las noticias con estos dos güeyes. Yeah, Dad, I hear it. I hear it. You're never gonna let me live this down, are you, y'all? That came out of accident, by the way. It's comical. Oh my God. All right. Saidala, thank you for being a member for 9 months. Shout out to you, love. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. All right. All right. Let's keep going. Okay. So this article, again, 2 years old. I keep repeating myself because y'all make me laugh in the chat. You guys are funny. I'm glad that you guys are finding some of this comical. The Virgin Islands government is suing the bank over S trafficker, Epstein. The Virgin Island government is suing the bank over S trafficking by Epstein. The Virgin Island has been trying to serve Musk with a subpoena. The filing noted, adding that Epstein may have referred or attempted to refer Musk to JP Morgan as a client. Do you hear that? So Elon was a client of some sorts, okay? The government contacted Mr. Musk's counsel via email to ask if he would be authorized to accept service on Mr. Musk's behalf in this matter, but did not receive a response confirming or denying his authority. The government accuses the bank of knowingly benefiting from Epstein's S trafficking and other billionaires who have been subpoenaed for the information too. Epstein was ruled to have K'd himself in New York jail while waiting trial on S trafficking related to offenses in 2019. Isn't this interesting? Look, it's all in yellow. The government accuses the bank knowingly benefiting from Epstein's S trafficking and other billionaires have been subpoenaed for information. But there's no list. Guys. There's no list. There's no other institutions. We have 1,000 victims, but nobody around. Nobody else to for any of this. That's it. We can't call anybody else out, guys. There's nobody else. You said, I just saw the 1 minute 2, is missing from security camera outside of JE jail cell. Midas just showed it. Red Vibes, thank you so much for the $4.99, my love. Thank you. There's a minute missing from that. I don't get it. How? I don't know. How is any footage missing? This is the government, guys. This is the government. Then they said that they had to clean up the footage. What? Makes no sense. Divine Geekster, thank you so much for becoming a member. Shout out to you. It makes absolutely no sense at all. No information. It's over, right? It's this is the definition of being gaslit by the media and the politicals and all these people that purport to really care about people and want to be in office. I feel like we're being gaslit. But you know what? This is going to go down just like everything else goes down. Like the JFK files, like many other things that have been investigated. This is going to be the same thing. It's going to be the thing that'll be all conspiracy theories. We're never going to know the truth, and nobody's ever going to be brought to justice. Meanwhile, there's 1,000 victims that this guy had, and nobody will ever be held accountable. And the people that were around him were complicit and co-signed the BS. So as long as they took their little vacations, they went to where they needed to go and called it a day. And remember, I don't ever want us to forget who promised transparency and has not delivered. And that's the thing about not just this administration, but the ones before and the ones before that. We need to we're done. I think we're tired of promises of things are going to be different. Things are going to be transparent. And they are never not transparent. Never. Never. They don't get to the top by telling the truth. Nobody likes the truth. No accountability. No nothing. I'll put this out here. Virginia Giuffre dies. Okay? She committed suicide. I'll never believe it. I don't believe it. I do not believe that she did. Convenient. Now we have the conclusion of this little situation report, right? We'll never know. She was the most outspoken victim. Even though people came for her, the lizard lady came for her time and time again. Where is the lizard? Did I delete the lizard lady? I might have deleted. No, here she is. The lizard lady came for her time and time again to discredit her. I will never believe it. She did. She did. I just don't. I'll never believe it. So I guess we will we shall see what comes out of this. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm gonna go because you guys, I gotta go tend to baby bunny. Oh my goodness, but you guys really supported today. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And by the way, like I said, I may not get everything correct. I'm not all knowing. I love it when my chat corrects me. I really appreciate it, and I take that with love because I know that it's coming from a good place, especially from my day one supporters and stuff like that. But don't ever try to silence me. Don't ever try to tell me what I can or can't talk about and think that I'm just going to sit there and cry about it. No, I'm going to talk. Okay. I just am. I've been blessed with the platform and I've worked really hard for it. So if you don't like that, you don't have to watch. It's very simple. There's like billions of other YouTube channels. All right, guys, I got to go because I got to go tend to baby bunny. Y'all are amazing. I will see you guys mañana. For us to keep talking. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Bye, guys. Thank you for those that supported. Thank you. Bye, guys.